Hello everybody, welcome. Good to have you on our weekend special here from Waiter to Win. Well done to everyone concerned in terms of getting on the other side of collecting. I hope it's all been good for you so far, and we look forward to what's going on Saturday, Sunday. Right, so Waiter to Win's got a Twitter account, it's got a YouTube account, it's got a WhatsApp account, and of course we're on 4racing.tv as well on the website. So please go and have a look and enjoy at your convenience. Okay, let's get straight into the action. We're having a look at our first from the Hollywood Bets Scottsville race meeting. 4 Group 1s on Saturday, so special day. Darren Burrows in Cape Town, good day. And we'll start with the opener. They've made this maiden over the 1,400 metres. Just have a quick snapshot at the opener of the first race on the card with regards to the market. And I just want to pull it up for you, Darren, just to give you an idea as to how they're betting here, the first at Scottsville. And I got for sure at 14-10 favourite, the one on the card from the Cotson stable. I see Richard Faris riding.
Clyde, on that last effort against Colts, she should start odds on because that was a solid effort. She improved a lot over the 1,400. She was beaten a length by Fibonacci. She moved up strongly down the outside. You had a horse like Aberdeen in the race who ran second. He's well above average over further in time to come. So surely against her own sex from a one draw, Richard Faris, I think we can start off having a strike on foreshore.
Okay, let's get straight into the action. Daryl Marie's with us for sure, 14-10. Mr. Marie?
Yeah, it looks the right one. I mean, we saw a winner from that form line in Nelson Bay.
Yes.
One would say this is jockey up, Clyde.
Yes.
Have a look at that combination stats. 37 runners, 9 winners.
Yes.
1 in every 4, basically.
Correct.
Yeah, let's hope we get off to a flyer in the first.
All right. Well, we know Nelson Bay, most of the people put them out when that won the other day. So let's hope this can be the case again in the first. Straight to the action with regards to what we want to forecast for you. Here's a look at the information now. And it's Darren Burrows' play. He suggests let's get started with foreshore. Bipot time, are you ready? Let's get straight to it. It's a maiden class field. It's run over the 1950 metres. And note that on Friday, the horse Porta Plata was scratched. So number 3 is not running. Please make a note of that. Here's a look at the market where you got number 4 on the card, Cashcavel, who's priced up 7-2, but joined to the 9 Man's Night at 7-2. And Duke of Africa, number 2, trading at 11-2. 6-1, number 1, Pixie in Love, Darren. And 6-1 about number 12, Red Piano. So how many horses do we need to open our Bipot here, the first leg?
I would go the safe route and go a couple of runners, but I do believe that Red Piano could be the horse to beat. I like that last effort. He's coming on the right way now, and the step up in trip I think is going to suit. So Red Piano, Man's Night, a Joburg Raider. On his best form, he's got to be competitive in this company. Horses like Cashcavel and Triton, there was only, a length separating them last time out, and Duke of Africa as well. So 5 runners should get you through.
Right, you may well be onto something here with Man's Night. You like it, Matchy's runner?
Sure. Clyde, you must have a chance. Let the side down a few times recently.
Yeah, I see the form line not too bad though.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of him.
What you like?
It's an open race. I've gone 3 horses over here. I hope I survive. Triton, very exposed, finishing the better between himself and Cashcavel last time out. He's certain to get the extra distance. Cashcavel went a bit too hard in the early stages. I thought he fought on doggedly in the straight. If he appreciates the extra, he must be a player. Mm-hmm. But I don't think the form on offer here is of a high standard. And for that reason, I think the 5 kg swing, being the sex allowance and the apprentice allowance, with regards to number 1, Pixie in Love, brings her into the play.
Okay. Well, that's Book of Dreams you're talking about, eh?
No, Pixie in Love.
Oh, Pixie in Love, I beg your pardon. All right, Pixie in Love, the one on the card. That's fairly solid form so far and being consistent at least. Second the last two starts, so maybe a runner. All right, well, let's take a look at our Bipots. Here we go. And 1, 4, and 6 in the opener, by 2, 4, and 5, by 1, 2, and 4, banker 10, banker 11, and 1 and 10. Daryl Murray is willing to put out 54 Rand or spend 54 Rand for every one of those perms. And remember, race 2 starts up at 12:15. Okay, place accumulators. We just heard Zacco. We're doing it Friday. Just came through right now. 6 Zacco's gone. Not going to be running in this particular event. Darren Burrows, number 5, twice golden, 6-1. But they bet 6-1 the field. One of the most toughest races on the day.
Yes, very tough, Clyde. You know, I originally liked Zacco very strongly at 8-1. Now that he's taken out, you've got to look towards horses like Twice Golden. He's in cracking form. Last time out, they threw him in the deep end and he ran a good race. Rockfall, he won a cracker last time out. He absolutely flew up late. He's gone up in the ratings slightly, and I think he could be competitive once again. A horse like Exceeder interests me. He did perform well over this sort of trip back in the day in Cape Town, but in KZN he hasn't yet to prove himself over the marathon trip, but I think he'll be competitive.
All right, so difficult. I see the Fortunes have been in great form. They've got this was prime example going, and that was Mamba Camtesio just came out yesterday and won, so that's confirmed the form. I don't know how strong this field is in comparison. What do you think, Mr. Murray?
This is very open, Clyde. Number 4, Quantifier. He's unexposed, lightly raced. He's an improving staying type. I see he's damn 1 over a mile and a half.
Yes.
So he should appreciate the step up in trip. I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. Twice Golden, honest performer, loves Scots, will be doing his best work late. Whether he can get there in time or not remains to be seen. Improvement from number 2, Cyber Time. Last time out he got taken out, or just eased in the latter stages. Would have finished a length closer, not more than that. But you know, Calvin gets on extremely well with him, and I think he's a one-pace sort. If he goes handy, we'll see a much improved run from him. Yeah, very open. I hope I survive.
All right, well, there's the 20-1 Shruti from the Louis Querson stable, number 2, Cyber Time, that might run a place for you. Let's have a look at the PA. Daryl's worked one out for you. He's going 2, 4, and 5 by 1, 2, and 4. Banker 10, Banker 11, 1 and 10 later on, then 1, 8, and 14 in the last leg, 5 and 9. And that place accumulator for the Hollywood Bet Scottsville race meet works out to 108 Rand. Pick 6 time. It's a handicap that starts your pick 6 over 1,400 metres. And the favourite here is number 4, Captain Fontaine, priced up at 4-1, who's a fairly decent sort. Serena Moodley's riding that for the Garth Puller stable. Number 7, Russian Rock, 11-2, not without a chance. 1, Royal Victory. We've seen him campaign on the Highveld. He's quite decent at 6-1. Number 8, Vanderbilt is at 6-1. And number 9, Forever Mine, is trading at 7-1. We saw the Mike de Kock stable in the winners' enclosure on Thursday. 8-1 and better about the others. Start with you, Mr. Burrows. First leg of the pick 6. You're our pick 6 man. What's the plan?
You got to look towards horses like Captain Fontaine. He's finally starting to show what he's worth. His form is faultless in his last couple of starts. He won a cracker last time out after over-racing slightly in the early part. He's drawn well, everything in his favour. Now, I can touch on one of my favourite horses in training is Silvanos Dasher. He's a 1,400-metre specialist. He comes out of the Drill Hall Stakes when in need of the run, beaten 5 lengths. If he can overcome the draw, he's a serious runner at, 15-2 in the betting. Royal Victory, he's got some grade 1 form behind his name. He runs well fresh. And then others to consider, numbers 6 and 7. But I like 4, 12, and 1.
Okay, 4, 12, 1. Perhaps those are the runners to consider. Royal Victory, Darren's quite right. He does represent Group 1 form, right? And he does seem to be fairly decent. I mean, would you take a chance with a horse like that?
Yeah, there's no doubt he's a high-class individual, Clyde. I actually think the break would have done him the world of good because
Yeah.
he had a busy campaign.
Right.
One draw, I think the pace will be on with the likes of Vanderbilt and
Yes.
Forever Mine in the race, so the pace will be genuine.
Yeah.
Will suit him. I just don't know his well-being. He's had 3 months off, and I don't think he's going to be really tuned up to the minute for this race. His class could certainly pull him through. Captain Fontaine, like Darren touched on, over-racing last time at Russian Rock, got a peach of ride up front. Keegan DeMillo is basically doing half pace. He was over-racing. I thought he did well to finish that race off. Like I touched on, the pace should be genuine over here. That will allow him to settle, even in his favours 1400 because he's got an exceptional turn of foot. So he's going to be my leading light. If you're looking for a roughy Clyde, take note of number 2, Bowie. Now, what is it? 400 odd days since we seen him in the winners enclosure. But Clyde, he's back in a handicap.
Yeah.
In his latest few starts, he's been out at the weights.
Wow.
53 from a neat draw. If there's a joker in the pack, I think he could be the one.
Okay, that's interesting. 25 to 1. Hey, I don't know about that. But okay, 25 to 1 is the play from Daryl Marie. Could be a recommended outsider for you. Let's have a look at the pick six. Mr. Burrows has worked out for you. Here we go. 1, 4, 12 by 10 and 12 by 4, 5, 8, 11. He's bankering the one later on. Then 1, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16. And then he's got the field right at the back over there. What's his banker? Her name is Princess Keller. The Alan Robertson Championship, Group 1 event over 1,200 metres. Reminder about our Twitter account. If you want to go and have a look there, you may at Waiter to Win's our handle. Right, let's have a look at what the market recommends in race 5. And number 10, Winter Cloud, is the 11 to 10 favourite. 12, Mrs. Geriatrics is 9 to 2. 2, Golden Tajana is 7 to 1. 8, Elegant Ice is trading at 14 to 1. And 9, Cullinan Blues. I'm looking for this horse, Red Hot Rose. Where on earth is it in the betting? 20 to 1. I don't know if they've got any sort of chance. I got to Mr. Marie first. I saw Mark de Kock the other day. When I chatted to him about it, he wasn't so enthusiastic about the last ride on Red Hot Rose, to be honest. But nevertheless, what do you make of the race? And do you give Red Hot Rose a chance if she got that close to Mrs. Geriatrics?
I don't give her a chance with Winter Cloud in the race.
Oh, is Winter Cloud top class?
I think she's
a race over.
I think she's a superstar.
Okay.
Clyde,
well,
that was a very smooth KZN victory, her local debut. I think she travelled the winner throughout that race. Aldo only pushed that button, asked for an effort inside the final 100. Her time was so much quicker than Cliffhanger. She would have just finished behind Gladiatorian on times. Now he's rated 105. And she carried 3.5 kilograms more than what he did on that day. We've seen winners come out and win that finished 10 lengths behind her in Bomber Girl and one other Secret Identity who they rate quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, she's special.
She's special. She's won her last 3 races, you heard from Daryl.
And sorry, can I touch on one other thing?
Yes.
Scottsville is a very tricky race, especially for young horses.
Yes.
A race course.
Yes.
Especially for young horses. So she's got that experience and she handled it
well, yes,
like a beauty.
You've seen big names run over at Scottsville before. It's not we have seen them, but Winter Cloud, Daryl says, is very, very good. Mr. Burrows, you agree with that?
Yes, she's different class, Clyde. She's just as good as her sister, probably in time to come. Winter Cloud. Now, last time out, first run at Scottsville, in the yielding conditions, and she absolutely trotted up. She was never in doubt. I think she's a possible banker. Her danger would be Miss Geriatrics. Now, last time out, nothing went her way. For her to get up and win was, she showed that she had ability. And she will be Winter Cloud's nearest rival. Of the rest, Golden Tatiana, Raskova, nothing between them on form.
Okay. So both are on to Winter Cloud. Darren Burrows the same. He says that's the play of the day, as does Daryl Marie. We've also got a jackpot for you that we want to share with you. Daryl banker 10 by banker 11 in the next leg as well. In his jackpot, Lucky Lad by 1 and 10. He's going with 2 horses. He's a little worried about Desert Miracle with Princess Keller, so he's put both in. And then 1, 8 and 14 in the last of our Group 1 events, and that being Bartoldi. The 14 is Gimme a Prince, and then the 8 horse is a horse called Thunderstruck, who's at any price. Welcome back, everybody. Let's go on to race number 6. This is the Gold Medallion, and it's over 1,200 metres. Super lineup, and this horse Lucky Lad, who only knows about victory up to this point in time, is trading around 19 to 10, perhaps 2 to 1. 5 Outlaw King is at 3 to 1, and number 4 Red Bomber is trading at around 8 to 1, with the 9 Cliffhanger at 8 to 1. It's 14 to 1 and better about the others. Mr. Burrows, let's talk about it. Lucky Lad, top of the boards, seems quite decent. I want to just pick your brain a bit about this horse Outlaw King as to just how good is that?
Yes, Clyde. You know, in these juvenile races, Gold Medallion sort of races, you often see a result. There'll be a big standout horse in the race, and somehow they get beaten. That's Scotsville for you. It does stop trains. Now, Lucky Lad has done absolutely nothing wrong. That form line of his last start, we saw Jerusalem Rain and Ripple Effect win. He won with a ton in hand. He's going to rate the horse to beat, but I haven't taken any chances. I've included Outlaw King, the 1100, too sharp last time out. He's looking for 1400 meters. The Scottsville Stiff 1200, he'll be right there at the finish. He's a quality sort. A Red Bomber won a cracker on debut. I was very impressed with the manner in which he won, and he could be anything. And then Egyptian Mao, a filly against the Colts. Now, she is decent. I saw her win in Juvenile Plate Company first time out, and I said this filly is proper horse.
Okay. Well, you do pick on a decent sort in Red Bomber, unknown to a certain extent in that this horse won impressively first time out. Is stepping up now to the highest level in its age group. And must have a claim. But I guess Lucky Lad's the big horse in the race, as Darren says.
Yeah, his nursery win was sensational. I mean, what he showed me, I expect him to remain unbeaten, Clyde. The unknown is Red Bomber, but what's known is they ran on the same day. And a fact is Lucky Lad would have beaten Red Bomber by close to 6 lengths on times.
Okay.
So how do you make a claim for him on times?
Yeah.
Should really...
So
I just hope Lucky Lad can handle the track. He's capable of switching just off them. Yeah, you know what? I made this stance. It's either banker him or field in this sort of lineup, because I even gave a horse like the Africa House an exacta chance. Guy Gibson, yeah. So if I wasn't going to bank him, I would have had to go field, and I put all my eggs in one basket. Let's go for Lucky Lad to remain unbeaten.
All right. Well, he does appear to be a cut above the rest, but well, let's see what he's all about. The draw. What about the draw? It's a smaller field. It's only 11 runners, but he's got speed, this horse.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about the draw.
Okay.
He can just stay out of the scrimmage. Richard will pilot him home for us.
Okay. Thank you, Richard. Pilot home.
What's he? He's got big match temperament, old Richard. These grade ones, he's different gravy.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Here's a go. We're going to look at what's our player, race number 6 on the card. It's a second jackpot opportunity. Banker Lucky Lad by 1 and 10 by 1, 8, 14. No chances in the last chances taken, that is. In the last leg of the second jackpot, they came the whole field. Hi everybody, welcome back to the South African Filly Sprint over 1,200 metres, this Group 1 event, and we've got top of the boards favourite right now is number 1 Princess Keller. We know how good she is. She's back in her own sex now at 11 to 10. Number 10 Desert Miracle is there to take her on at 33 to 10, and it does appear to be a 2-horse race from a market perspective, and perhaps even on form. It's 10 to 1 bar the 2 Mr. Marie, and Desert Miracle, what did you make of her last start, Desert Miracle?
I thought it was a cracker. She was a bit out of her ground, and for her to have made up the lengths that she did in that class, I thought it was a brilliant effort. You know, they renew rivalry, herself and Princess Keller. I think they last met in the Quartet Scepter. There was 3/4 of a length separating them on that occasion, and Princess Keller, I believe, is better off at the weights. So she should confirm that form. But you know, Desert Miracle on her day, Clyde, and I actually think she should have finished closer in Cape Town. But Princess Keller on her day, I mean, she's a rocket. I like the fact that there is pace towards the inside in Cold Fact. She should have one to follow. Cold Fact hangs in, so she should hang in onto that inside running rail. I just hope that Princess Keller gets a clean run and doesn't get cramped. I expect her to win. We saw Sheila trot up from that form line. You know, the stiff 1200, that uphill will suit her. She's unbeaten over this track.
Yeah.
I mean, over this distance. Yeah.
Sure. How impressive was Sheila, eh? Won very well,
Yeah,
Sheila.
she won well. She won well.
Trotted up. All right. You know, there was an interview with Adam Mazzy. Sheila, they're going for the Mercury, I think, eh? I think they're going for the Mercury.
She's very good. I don't think we saw the best of her in the computer form sprint. Yeah, but...
And she didn't... yeah, anyway. Okay. Mr. Burrows, what's the story with you, sir? Princess Keller's your favourite horse, I know that.
Yes, my favourite filly in training. She never lets me down. Last time out, I didn't actually like her over the 1,000 metres. She's best over 12 to a mile. She's pretty much unbeatable. Desert Miracle to me is a miler. The 1,200, a bit sharp. For that reason, Princess Keller, my best on the card. And my bank here in the pick 6. I mean, have a look at her penultimate start. She was a runaway winner in Cape Town. Her 2 starts here, I mean, her 3 starts. She won both over, 1,200 meters. She's very impressive on her day, and she is at her best.
Okay, well, that is your play. That much we know. Princess Keller for Darren Burrows. On to the Golden Horse Sprint, a Group 1 event, a fantastic lineup over here, and 14 Give Me a Prince is the favourite at 2-1. Decent horse, Mr. Burrows, I'll start with you. Does look like the right one in the race.
Yes, Clyde, he's probably the best sprinter in the country. Last time out, I mean, he had no right to run second from where he was positioned, turning for home, 9 lengths back, and he got beat under a length. Cracking effort, he'll come on from that run. His only disappointing run was second to Bereave. I thought he would put that race to bed, and Bereave came past him late. My only concern is Scottsville. He's been beaten here before in the Gold Medallion, and he's drawn 14. For that reason, I'm looking to run him over in the pick 6, even though he's my clear-cut first selection. Bartholdi ran second in this race last year. I think he'll run very well from a 1 draw. We jamming, blinkers go on. There's not much between himself and Rio Karari. Now, Rio Karari, he's back to best as a 6-year-old, and he's got a serious chance. There are others to consider.
Okay. Remember this time last year, we had I think Pierre Straden was in our studio to discuss this meeting. We were talking about the Scottsville and the 1,200 and how undulating and how it goes downhill and then uphill, and how the draw is a factor. Do you recall Pierre Straden being in our studio?
I recall him being in our studio, but...
Not for the Scottsville meeting. Which meeting was it?
Been.
Yes. It's been a year.
Grinkhoff.
It's been a year.
Sure.
It's been a year already. How time flies. Okay, so what do you like?
I have to be with my horse, Clyde.
Yes. You like this horse.
I love him. Give me a Prince. Lovely. I thought that was an outstanding effort last time out. Quickened up beautifully from the 400 to the 200. Just caught wanting in the latter stages. Likes to be given a chance. Keegan will get some cover, switch him out, and he's going to have to do it the hard way because he's going to have to give them weight in a start in a sprint and weight. But you know, he's really out the top draw. In that Diadem race where Bereave beat him, Dean Canema is on record saying that he wasn't the luckiest in running. So he thinks he's better than that. So yeah, I expect him to win. But by no means is it going to be an easy task. This is a very, very hard race to win. Bartholdi, he ran second in this race last year. Clyde, he's met Give Me a Prince in Cape Town, and he was only beaten just on 2 lengths. He gets a 3 kg pull, so I think he's a big, big runner if he's at his best. I liked his comeback efforts. And then Thunderstruck, line 3's later start, just over racing terribly. He should run a much improved race.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to have a look at the information now. The 8th race on the card, the slide, shows that we're going with swingers 1, 8 and 14. Ninth race on the card. Let's have a look at the market here. We're number 9 on the card. Ponte Pietro's top of the boards at 5-1. They bet 5-1 the field. 3 Tababua, 6-1. 6-1 about number 5. Kitchikel got to have some sort of chance. And 7-1 number 12, Working Warrior. It's 10s and better about the others. And Dean Kannemeyer has got Keegan DeMella riding this, Darren. And Dean's on record saying he wants Keegan DeMella to come off the pace. He'd rather him ride from off the speed than be Andy. What do you think, Darren?
Clyde, I believe Ponte Pietro will start a lot shorter than 5-1. I just have that feeling. He's had the 2 comeback runs. He ran third to Kitchikal and then won over 1,400 meters, which showed signs of a good horse because he's looking for further. Now he goes the right trip. Kitchikal, now last time out won a good race. There's been 2 runners, 2 winners from that form line. So that's got to be a serious runner. Wiccan Warrior comes out of the Guineas behind Charles Dickens at level weights. That was not a bad effort. So in this type of company, he's got to be effective. I played the field in the pick 6, but Ponte Pietro, my outright first choice.
Okay. Ponte Pietro for Darren. Richard Free took the ride on this horse Tababua last time. He stays with Tababua. You give it any sort of chance? Yeah, maybe start to finish?
He's a very dangerous front runner on his day, Clyde. So he can also take a tug, but if he does it comfortably and he relaxes up front, he could prove very hard to peg back. Kitchikal, excuse me, Clark, Kitchikal.
Yes.
And
won well last time.
Ponte Pietro, I mean, they've met in the past, but Kitchikal, have a look at his breeding. He's by Master My Fate out of a Fort Wood mare. I think he's going to love the step up in trip. Really unexposed over this distance. If he's more effective now that he's going the extended trip, I could see him following up on his latest victory. Healthy respect for Ponte Pietro. I think the penny's finally dropped for him. Looks like he's could go through the divisions now. Wiccan Warrior, I was super impressed with his penultimate start. His turn of foot that he showed. But he's just going to have his work cut out under a hefty weight from a tricky draw. If he gets lucky in running, I certainly can see him bouncing back to his best.
Okay.
So this is actually a lovely race. There's quite a few up-and-coming individuals here.
All right, thank you, Daryl. Let's have a look at what we suggest for our last race here today, or on Saturday at the Hollywood Bet Scottsville racetrack. And Darren Burrows is recommending a quartet floating banker, double floating the 5 and the 9 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 10 and 12. And he's spending 504 Rand on the last race quartet.